So good day everybody. Today we're going to tackle about the topic Zen Buddhism. Now before everything else, I would like to say thank you to Sir Joffer for giving us the opportunity to study Zen Buddhism, especially to those students who have experienced anxiety, because it's really helpful. This Zazen meditations was really helpful for those students who have experienced anxiety and stress in school days. Now, to begin with, what is Zen Buddhism? Is it a religion? Is it an idea, belief, or a practice? There are so many questions that revolves around the title Zen Buddhism. Questions regarding the topic about the true nature of reality. Is it there in illusions? Because we are attaining enlightenment. Now, questions about the self, the true nature of the self. And also, what are the effects of Zazen meditations, Zen Buddhism, to the modern era? What are the effects towards people who are seeking enlightenment, practitioners itself? Now, before we start with our topic about Zen Buddhism, let's first take insight about the famous philosophical quote of Dogen zunji about Zen Buddhism. To study Buddhism is to study the self, and to study the self is to forget the self. What's that? Now, meaning to say about the quote of Dogen Zunji is that to study Buddhism is to study the self. Meaning to say that it's all about you. Buddhism or Zen Buddhism was all about you, your self-compositions, your thought, your insight, the way you breathe, the way you inhale or exhale, the way you process anapanasati, so on and so forth. You mean to say, it's all about your attachment to the world. And to study the self, you need to forget yourself. Meaning to say that you need to let go all of this attachment in order for you to attain enlightenment. Enlightenment is the sole purpose of this practice, sole purpose of doing Zen meditation. That is, according to Dogen Zanchi, that Zazen or attaining enlightenment is to let go of all of this attachment in order for you to have a new room, to have more understanding of what really Zen Buddhism really is. So these are the table of content. Title page, table of content, introduction, background of the study, statement of the problem, objectives, significance of the study, scope and limitations, materials and methods, review of related literatures, methodology, result and discussion, conclusions, and recommendation. So I put there, as you can see in the picture, that is Siddhartha Gautama, which is also known as Buddha. So he was the founder of Zen Buddhism, although he's not actually Chinese, but Zen Buddhism have started in Chinese and they call it Chan. But Siddhartha Gautama is actually an Indian. And this Chan has migrated to Japan, and because of Chan translation in Japanese term was actually called Zen, that is why in modern days, this meditations is famous for its name as Zen meditation or Zen Buddhism itself. So these are the introduction. So Zen Buddhism is a profound practice that transcends time, space, inviting seeker to make an internal journey towards enlightenment. It was first introduced in China by Siddhartha Gautama, also known as Buddha. He brought Chan to China, and the iconic one paradoxical statement or questions used by masters to provoke insight. So what is this Quan's paradoxical statement? It was a statement equivalent to quote in Western philosophy or Western culture quote that encourage people, no, to this is like a quote that enables person to have or to pursue more about its purpose and goals. Now, in Kwan's paradoxical statement, it enables students or practitioners to improve their understanding and meditations to truly attain enlightenment. Now, such example of this, I have heard a story about Kwan's paradoxical statement that there was a great professor. No, let me tell this story because it's quite funny and it's quite logical itself. No, there was a very incredible professor, and that professor was very knowledgeable, awardee. One day he wanted to study about Zen Buddhism, and he sent a letter towards a Buddhist temple nearby, and with that it was accepted by the Buddhist monk. And when he arrived to the temple, because that day was the day that the monk will be giving informations and knowledge towards Zen Buddhism, towards the professor. And the monk was sitting on the table with the teapot and the cup. So they sit together, and the monk stand up, and then he take the teapot, and then he pours some tea to the cup of the professor. He just continue doing that until the cup is already full. And because of it was full, and the monk has continued to pour it, it overflows. And when it overflows, the professor reacted. So why are you keep on pouring tea to my cup? It's already full. There is no space anymore. And then the monk replied, how can I tell you, or how can I teach you the ways of Zen Buddhism, Zen meditations, if your mind is already full? In order for you to understand the true concept of Zen Buddhism, you need to empty your mind. You need to empty your cup to have another space for your understanding. So in that sense, it is like that now. It is like a logical terms that enables practitioners, listeners, and seekers of enlightenment to improve their meditations, to improve their understanding towards Zen Buddhism. Such examples of Kwan's paradoxical statement are what are the sounds of one hand clap, just like that, and many more Kwan's paradoxical statement that enables practitioner to listen more and to improve more on their own understanding. Next is, it later introduced the Japanese cultures, where it evolves as Zen Buddhism. In Japan, the essence lies in the mindfulness, peace, and direct experience. This practice requires a sitting especially in zazen meditations, marked by posture, breathing, and observance through without attachment. Enlightenment and the pinnacle of Zen pursuit is not distant, but an immediate realization to one's true nature. It's found in the ordinary, in the silence between thought and the mindful. Now, as what I've known about Zen Buddhism is not all about achieving something. It's all about letting go of everything. Now, this comes to the core principle of Zen Buddhism, which is to cultivate the mind of non-attachment. When we are attached to a thing, we are constantly worried of losing them. And with that, we are unable to experience true peace and happiness. Such events are washing dishes, gentle sway of the tree, wind to attain enlightenment by means of meditations. So once embarked in the path of self-discovery, it involves quitting the mind, fostering awareness, and letting go of attachment. So the journey is not linear. It is a constant return to the present moment. Surrender to what is ultimately Zen meditations beckons individuals to look within, and to discover the boundless awareness beyond the confines of the self. A journey that echoes through the corridors of history, resonating as profoundly today as it did centuries ago. Now, the teaching of Dogen Zunji is a Japanese Buddhist martyr who lives in 13th century, had a reliable thought about the true natures of reality. And in this study, we'll focus upon about discussions about the true nature of reality, which is usually related to the concept of Chen or the Tsukara, which refers to letting go of what the soul holds, or the core principle of Dogen or Dozen. Zunjis suggests that there is no difference between the practice and enlightenment. He introduced the concept of Oji, which he defined by him as being in time, existing in time, or the text suggests that every moment as experience contains the whole descriptions of our identity, and the past and our futures are intrinsically connected to our present moment. So the teaching of Dogen's philosophy of reality is deeply rooted to the Zen understanding of impermanence. So it is described as moho. So the interconnectedness, or also described as ingi, he articulates that the true nature of reality is non-dualistic, challenging, according to him, and challenging the perceptions of the separate self and the external world. According to Dogen's enlightenment, is not a state to be achieved, but a realization of one's inherent natures, already presented within every moment. His teachings on the true natures of reality has stressed the importance of direct experience and practice over the conceptual understanding. So Dogen's philosophy continues to influence Zen Buddhism, emphasizing that the integrations of meditations into a daily life and the recognitions of enlightenment within ordinary existence. So this is the example of Zazen or Zazen meditations. So Zazen meditation focuses on the posture, um, uh, open shoulder, upright spine, soft belly, and one on the ground, on the chair or a cushion, we follow a breath, one inhalation and one exhalation at a time. Each time a thought arises, we just follow the thought and then return to breathe. Now, in early stage of Zazen, now it was originally called by Buddha as Anapanasati. So Anapanasati means inhalation and exhalations. Anapana means uh, inhale and exhale, and sati means uh, mindfulness. Now, when we do this anapanasati or Zen meditations, we became mindful and we became aware about ourselves. So, statement of the problem. So, the fundamental issues regarding the influence of Dogen Zonji revolves around the theory of impermanence and transcends, emphasizing the true natures of reality as impermanence of the beliefs that nothing is constant. Questions regarding the approach of Dogen's to the true nature of reality and its connections towards Zen Buddhism. The teaching of Dogen seems hard to trace back its connections to Zen Buddhism, since the tradition's concepts of Zen meditations are only intended for the meditations to attain mindfulness, to be calm, or to be at peace. So the teaching of Dogen walks the different path, taking about issues regarding hallucinations, illusions to the real world, and the concept of connectedness to all things. Although there has been knowledge about Zen Buddhism that explains the goal, which is to attain enlightenment, it is still difficult how these ideas from the teaching of Dogen revolves around the concept of Zen Buddhism. Now, certainly, when formulating the statement of the problem concerning Dogen's Zenji's philosophy on the true nature of reality, one might consider the following. Exploring Dogen Zonji's concept of reality and the implications of an inquiry into the non-dualistic nature of existence, temporal consciousness, or what is called time being, and the integrations of everyday experience within the framework of enlightenment. So this study aims to examine how Dogen's philosophy challenged the conventional perceptions of reality and the self, and to understand the practical application of his teaching is contemporarily context. Now, it is difficult to trace back the true nature and purpose of Zazen and the philosophical thought it was trying to convey. Moreover, the conflict between identifying moral status of religion in society and the conflict between our understanding of its philosophical definition. The next part is the objectives of our study. So the main objective of study is to provide a deep understanding to the true nature of reality and to answer philosophical questions regarding the true nature of the self, true nature of reality, and its effect towards seekers of peace and enlightenment. The iconic one paradoxical statement or questions used by masters to provoke insight and its complicities to provide data about the true natures of enlightenment, emphasize to the one's true natures on essence, also known as muho. Furthermore, it will also provide insight into the benefits of Zen meditations to the body and to the mind, to the modern society, helping individuals to navigate challenges and find meaning in every moment. So, there are so many objectives of these topics now, such as understanding non-dualism in the true natures of reality, which is focuses about comprehending the Dogen Zonji's concept of non-dualisms and investigate how this challenges conventional dualistic view of reality and the self, and also to delve into Dogen's notions of time being and its significance to perceiving reality as an unfolding moment-to-moment experience. Now, analyzing the practical implication to assist how Dogen's teaching can be practically applied in a contemporary context, such as mindfulness, practice, stress reductions, or enhancing well-being, and also to investigate how Dogen's philosophy advocates the integrations of meditative awareness into daily activities and how these integrations impact no? individual experiences and perspectives. And lastly is to compare Dogen's teachings with the philosophical or religious views of reality, such as those from Western philosophy or other Buddhist traditions, to identify similarities and differences. Now, the significance of our study is this study holds a significant implication to the philosophical insight of mindfulness and presence to the modern life, teaching focus in the present moment, including the comprehensive understanding to the core principles and practice of Zen Buddhism. Furthermore, by examinations to the primer or the book, a premiere of Soto Zen, a translation of Dogen's Shubugenzu by Zumonki in 1971, provides a critical lens to the understanding of Zen Buddhism and its connections to the teaching of Dogen Zunji. Being one of the foundation of Zen Buddhism, it emphasizes understanding towards the concept of direct experience over more intellectual knowledge. Teaching of Dogen explores various fields, taking about the true natures of reality, encourage practitioners to explore through direct experience, cultivating connections and attention towards the present moment. So that is the focus. significance of the study, no? Na the philosophical insight of Dogen's, or the teaching of Dogen's, offers a unique philosophical outlook that challenges conventional understanding to reality, self, and existence. And it explores concept, provides a deeper understanding of a non-dualistic thinking and temporal consciousness. So, integrations of modern meditations and daily life. Dogen emphasized that integrations of meditation's awareness into everyday activities, understanding his teaching can help individuals to integrate mindfulness practices into their lives, potentially enhancing mental well-beings and the quality of life. Researching and studying Dogen's philosophy can contribute to contemplative practice used in stress reductions, mindfulness or based therapies, and mental health investigations, potentially providing new avenue of therapeutic applications. Next is the scope and limitations. So this research, as conducted, focuses upon a deep exploration to the practice of Zen and interconnectedness in attaining enlightenment or nirvana. The book, A Premiere of Soto Zen, a translation of Dogen Subigensu Sumonki in 1971, that talks about the interconnectedness of the true natures of reality, provides a reliable knowledge to Zen Buddhism and its connections to the Zen teaching of Buddhism in 1987. Will also be used as a reference to fully understand the true nature of reality towards the self. Furthermore, by understanding Zen Buddhism, it contributes to the growing knowledge of self and emotional resilience. By giving attention to the current situations and thought, will out of any attachment, leading to a greater understanding that helps fully understand the pure meaning of self-experience and how this oriental discipline useful to both entities and long-time discipline. Now, next is materials and methods. Now, the materials and methods will be discussed by my group mates, which is Miss Himalaw, and also Joshi Carbajal. That would be all for my presentation. Thank
Morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. I am Aramina Saganahi Malaw. I will be the second reporter of the topic Zen Buddhism. I will be tasked to report the result and discussion of our topic. So here it shows the result of the study, which provides the answer regarding in line to the questions about the nature of reality and the self, as well as the effects of meditation towards the one who seek for peace and enlightenment. So, the core principle of the teaching of Dogen lies upon the practice of Zazen, also known as seated meditation. So here, ang main focus ni Dogen sa iyang teaching is na rely siya sa Zazen meditation, which is natakol sa first na reporter, in which where individual forgets everything in his or her mind. The reason behind this principle is to attain mindfulness and self-awareness, because when we undergo Zazen meditation, we become mindful, and when we became mindful, we will become more aware regarding ourselves, our breathing, as the air touches the tip of our nose. Diba? Kabanday ta kung ga-meditate ta is kanang gakalimtan nato kung unsay mga butang naa sa palibot, unsay nahitabo sa palibot, nakafocus rata sa hangin nga gagawas o gasulod sa ato ang ilong, kay like mo inhale mo exhale ta, kana may focus nato dayon ang ato ang mind is kaka-relax bitaw siya, gakalimot siya sa yang ginapang huna-una niya ing ana kung gahimotag meditation. So Dogen Zunji's teaching revolves around examination about the actual description of enlightenment, which explains the relevance of direct encounter of one's actual nature. All aspects of our essence of our being are generally outlined as true nature because they are all recognized as the inherent presence and the existence of one being. Furthermore, within this structure, the idea of non-duality of Dogen arise confusing boundaries between the actual world of the self and its external entities or world, cultivating knowledge that conveys the idea of interconnectedness. Unsay pasabot here? Dogen Zunji's teaching is naka-center siya on exploring enlightenment. O gid ang iyang main focus nga kung mag-meditate ta is ma-enlighten atong kaugalingon, ma-enlighten atong huna-huna through direct encounter with our true nature, kung unsa gyud kana bitaw, unsa gyud through unsay true essence of reality. This is all aspect of our being as expression of this inherent presence, blurring the boundaries between self and the external world. So this emphasizes interconnectedness and a non-dual understanding of existence. Next, he also portrayed in his teaching the concept of suntaya or emptiness, which is described as a depleted but a deep description towards interconnectedness of all phenomena. So here, si Dogen iyang gipakita nga ang the concept of suntaya or ginapasabot nga emptiness, which points to a profound interconnectedness of all phenomena. It's a way of describing the deep interwoven nature of everything in existence. May iyang ginapasabot. Next, the text provides guidelines to all practitioners of Zen meditation to include the principle of Zazen into their daily life. Kay ang Zazen meditation is dako kay siya benefits makuha once nga mo ni siya atong i-apply nga buhaton bitaw. Dayon, leading ethical conduct in relation with Buddhist precepts and highlights the connection of the teacher to students, relationship of transferring wisdom and insight, Ishin Denshin. Through these teachings, the author provides a comprehensive roadmap for embodying Zen principles, cultivating spiritual growth, including understanding to the true nature of reality. Here, ang text is moto yang ingon nga kana bitaw dapat ato siyang i-apply ang Zazen meditation, dapat i-apply nato sa ato ang everyday lives nga, which nag-emphasize siya ethical behavior based on Buddhist precepts. It also underscores the important relationship between teachers and students in passing on wisdom and insights. Kay like for example, nay nagtudlo sa imo unsaon pag meditate, ang iyang nabaw-an is iyang na transfer sa imuha na iyang ginapasabot. Next, here the Zen teaching of Bodhidharma. So in the book of Zen teaching of Bodhidharma, in 1987, Buddha himself presented key argument about mind is the essence, which explains that our mind is the structure of reality and experienced by applying Zazen into our daily life. It will help practitioners in various ways, cultivating the mind of non-attachment to the world. We came to realize that our mind without conceptual thinking is within the ultimate reality, presented a series of statements that are intended to provoke thought and insight of certain individuals. So here, from the quote ni Zen Buddhism nga, niingon siya nga, Zen is not about achieving something, It's about letting go of everything. Here giingon nga si Zen it teaches us to let go of our attachments to material possessions, to ang status, and even our own opinions and beliefs mga tuto nato ingana ato na daw kuno nang elet ko ana si Zen Buddhism. Then kung himo daw nato na nga malit ko ato daw kuno we are free to experience what the world as it really is. Sabtan daw nato without the interference of our own judgments and desires. Once daw kuno nga malit ko na ato mga attachments sa mga butang, mga tinuuan, everything daw kuno nga makapa-attach sa ato daw kuno ma-experience kung unsa gyud ang tinuod nga reality, kung unsa gyud ang kanang kalibutan, unsa gyud iyang essence sa reality. Dayon emphasizing the direct importance of our experience. Yes, kay ngano man tinuod ni siya kay because tungod sa ato ang experiences maka-learn tag something, maka-realize tag something ing ana. So muning giingon nga it emphasized the direct importance of our experience. So according to the teaching of Bodhidharma, followers came upon direct realization of one's true nature, which is unconditioned and free from dualistic perception. So, sa teaching ni Bodhidharma, niingon siya nga, kung kinsa tong katuditang ga-practice ka, himuog ing ka-practice kaya meditate, kaya himog meditate is ma-realize niya bitaw kung unsa gyud ang tinuod nga ang true nature nga ma-realize nila nga kanang unconditional and free from seeing things in terms of opposites or dualistic perception nga nagi siya kanang main focus ra gid niya. So he came up to the concept of emptiness that presented interconnectedness and interdependence of all phenomena. These key ingredients is the core substance of reality, transcending to individual entities, meaning to say it is just all of the things we are able to see, feel, and sense collectively. It is impossible to define the actual world or the real essence of reality based on the second definition because a thing you can fully describe is the only thing you can define. So, ang buot pasabot ani nga, unsa yung ginapasabot? Ano siya nga, ang actual world daw kuno ang true essence sa reality cannot be fully defined because ang atwa daw kunong ability nga mutanaw or makakita ato ang ability nga maka-feel of something or maka-sense sa tanan mga butang makes it impossible to capture the complete description of reality. Dili daw kuno na siya nga enough reason. What you can fully describe daw is the only thing you can define. Katulad daw kuno mga butang bitaw imag yung ma-describe, ma-explain is mo daw tong butang nga imuhang ma-define. So that's it. Thank you.
Morning, sir. Today I'm going to report of our topic. My part is the conclusion, and in conclusion, Dogen's teaching convey a profound understanding that reality is not static, but rather a dynamic and ever-changing phenomenon, meaning that we should consider reality as a complex of web interconnection where all phenomena arise and dissolve, rather than a distinct, fixed entities, the true nature of self. The teaching of Dogen Zenji, conventional notion of a fixed independent self often intersect with a concept in emptiness, suggesting that the self is not separate, enduring structure but rather interconnectedness with all existent existence. Knowing the real nature of self involves transcending the theory of separateness, also understanding one's inherent connection to the universe. Excuse. The true nature of reality. Dogen emphasizes the idea of non-duality and oneness. He conveys the idea of interconnectedness to oneness of all things, or the belief that all beings live on the same spot. Emphasizes that this subject and object were distinct between the self and others. Non-duality contradicts the traditional conception of the way we perceive the world as consists of this discrete and distinct element. It does not have any inherent separation to the self and others, but it only points out connection to all things. Zen Buddhism core principle revolves around direct realization and individual experience over intellectual understanding. It aims to encourage practitioners to awaken its fundamental nature of reality beyond what they see and conceptualize frameworks. Dogen's teaching about Zen Buddhism echoes this core principle in several ways. Uh, these two books has a differences. The differences of the book about the duality is that in the primer of Soto Zen, Dogen emphasizes the dynamic and ever-changing nature of reality. Arguing, Dogen argued that all things are interconnected and independent. The second book is the Zen teaching of Buhid Hamar. Dogen delves into the unknowable nature of reality, suggesting that true understanding can only be attained through direct experience. Uh, in this passage, Dogen teaching offer a profound and multifaceted understanding of reality, challenging our conventional perception and providing a path for individuals to connect with the true nature of reality. And also, the similarities of these two books is that uh, both books emphasize the dynamic and ever-changing nature of reality. It also Dogen argues that reality is not static but rather a continuous process of arising and dissolving. This concept is known as impermanence of transience. The second one that has similarities of the books is both books emphasize the interconnectedness of all things on all things. And also Dogen argues that all phenomena are interconnected and interdependent, and that there is no such thing as a separate independent self. Also, um, uh, both both books uses variety of teaching methods, including koans, parables, and stories. Also, both books emphasize the importance of practice. Uh, uh, we focus on the nature of reality. The the reason why is nature of reality is important is that the nature of reality is important because it affects our understanding of the world around us and our place in it. If we believe that reality is objective, then we are likely to see ourselves as separate from the world and to believe that we have little control over our own destiny. However, if we believe that reality is subjective, then we are likely to see ourselves as connected to the world and to believe that we have the power to create our own reality. Also, the nature of reality also has a big impact on our relationship with others. If we believe that reality is objective, uh, then we are more likely to see others as objects rather than as people. We may also be more likely to judge others and to try to control them. Or, however, if we believe that reality is subjective, then we are more likely to see others as subjective with their own unique experiences. We may also be more likely to compassionate and understanding toward others. Uh, I'm going to add the nature of I have the to add about this one nature of reality. Uh, Nature of reality has a big impact on our lives. It affects our beliefs, our our values, and our actions. It also affects our understanding of the world around us. In these two books, in this our in our research, Dogen teaching on reality, uh, Dogen teaching on reality offer a profound and insightful perspective, emphasizing impermanence, interconnectedness, and non-duality. He focused on direct experience with aligns with Zen Buddhism core principle. Dogen non-duality concept challenges traditional perceptions, encouraging us to view the world as a seamless web of interconnectedness. His teaching hold immense value in our modern world, promoting mindful living, compassion, and fresh perspective on reality. Uh, that's the that's the my explanation for our conclusion. And the next is Zen Buddhism philosophy rely upon internal principle of nature, harmony between your soul and the universe. If there is freedom in this world, then you can find it Zen meditation that emphasize on direct experience and mindful distinguish 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 Zen as a transformative philosophy, heighten awareness and self-realization, fostering a profound connection with the present moment. Uh, Zen Buddhism is a very important because it help us to express our, or not just only express, but rather help us to concentrate, or uh, to take a serious in ourselves, and to find peace in ourselves. That's why the Zen Buddhism is important for me. And that's all. And the reference for the findings for our research is these two books, the Three Pillars of Zen Teaching and Practice and Enlightenment by Johnston, and the second one is Buddhidhamar, the Zen Teaching of Buddhidhamar. And that's all. Thank you for listening.